Hi, good morning. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Welcome into the room. Welcome to pitch practice. Excited to see you all. We're going to have a few late comers and the people are going to be running in. But we are going to get started pretty much straight away because this is going to be a rapid fire day. So, hello, all. I'm Caroline. I'm so excited to meet you all and hear your pitches. And we're going to get started with just a little bit of housekeeping and just make sure that we're all on the same page and we know how this is going to run. So today we're going to have 20 people in the hot seat. They are the 20 that are one of the top 20 from the top 100 getting ready for demo day. I ask all of you who are coming here to watch or even your participation throughout is to get a pen and paper ready or use your digital note taker. And as I go through my feedback, ask, what does this mean to me? How can I use this feedback to improve my pitch? And I want you to walk away with confidence and clarity on how you're going to strengthen up your words and your style to be more memorable and compelling and get a hell yes from your investors on demo day. So, for those of you who've not met me before, I'm Caroline. I'm the founder of Vincitor, and I've spent the last 19 years supporting founders and CEOs and startups of global connected companies to win millions in new business. So I'm a growth strategist and I specialize in positive intelligence. So that's allowing you to master the powers of persuasion and really step into leadership where everybody wants to be part of your story. So I train founders to take the lead, and it's all about creating those breakthrough results you want to see. I absolutely want the same for each of you here. So, as I said, this is going to be rapid. I want you to buckle in. I have a timer on the go. It's going to be 1 minute for those pitches. I'm sorry I don't have a water gun and I can't spray you through the screen, but try and respect the time. I will come back on off mute and sort of say, okay, that's a wrap wherever you are. We're going to stick to time, so I want to make sure I get through everybody. I have a bit of a running order today as well, just to make sure that I cover everyone off. If somebody's not here, that's going to completely mess up my order and you're all going to have to help me out and say, I haven't been yet, and like help me go forward. So do use the raise hand feature, which you can get on Zoom. I'm sure you guys are all pretty familiar, but use the raise hand feature or just come off mute and go, yeah, I'm ready. I want to do my pitch. So let's kick off and see if I have the first person in the room who is on my list. Do we have Adriano Goncalves? I think I'm pronouncing that completely wrong. Help me out, Adriano, if you're there. Fantastic. Come off mute, say hello. And I'm going to start the timer any second now. So just do a quick audio test for me, make sure that I can hear you okay.
Um, Good morning. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you well. Perfect. Right. We are ready to go. I'm going to set the timer going and you're going to kick off for us. So go for it. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Appreciate. Thanks for the opportunity today. Um, Apologies, I'm coughing. I just felt sick last night, but I'll give it a go. Shopify is great, but they don't do deliveries. At One Delivery, we have built the tool that the local commerce was missing. Our platform turns high street retailers into real-time e-commerce businesses with 60 minutes delivery built in. So no warehouse, no setup costs, no complicated logistics. From the moment an order is placed, our software syncs inventory, assigns the delivery, and track it all live. And it gets the product to the buyer in under an hour. We are already working with the NHS and over 50 businesses in London. We have expanded from 3 postcode districts to 45 postcode districts in London. We have completed more than 53 critical deliveries with a 64% margin, gross margin.
Gonna have to stop you there, Adriano. Okay, we're that 1 minute in. So well
Oh,
done.
wow.
Yeah, it goes super fast, right? So let me say, like, just really think about your rehearsal. I think it's first feedback number one. I'm
Yeah.
well done for showing up today, feeling sick. I salute you. I mean, that's
I
really
couldn't
hardcore.
sleep all night long, but yeah.
But one of the things I could see you reading off some notes. So it's rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. Get practicing your pitch so you've really got it timed and got it nailed. I noticed that you started to talk a little bit about the kind of credibility. You talked about numbers. You start to talk about the kind of work that you've done with a big name, which is the NHS. So big names are memorable, numbers are memorable. But when we start to tell a long narrative around perhaps a case study or how much we're moving or how much we're doing, it starts to be, if it gets too many numbers, it starts to become an overload. And it's like, what are we following here? What's the narrative? We want to have three standout things that we can remember in that 1 minute pitch. Really important thing is who are you? Like, what's your name? If you can repeat your name, your business name, a couple of times, many times, it really helps investors to stick you in their mind. Like, I remember what they were called, and I'm actually excited about what they do. So that would be my first bit of feedback for you. So rehearsal, really make yourself memorable, get your name in there as much as you can. That big brand name and also any kind of key numbers, they're the things to shout about. And what we probably didn't get to the end of your pitch there because I cut you off, but start thinking about what are the, if you like, the big numbers that you can talk about. What are if you could do it in a percentage that makes it go, wow, that's a sort of rapid growth, or that's really showing traction or scale. Those things really help in terms of that credibility. And wherever you can, make it into a story. You were starting to tell a story there, but because it's so short and so tight, let's think about how that story again, memorable. Let's make sure that we've got some big names that also stick in our mind and we're showing that traction and growth. And I think for you, Adriano, that will really help your pitch. Does that help you today? Does that give you something to work with?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It does help me. And thank you so much. I can't even say a line without coughing. Apologies for
That's
that.
okay. I'm proud of you for showing up. Adriana, I'm going to move on to the next on my list and hope the next is in the room. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming and sharing your
Caroline,
pitch.
can I just ask a
Yeah, of
question?
course.
So do you recommend, like in this 1 minute pitch, not to go with the traditional problem solution and traction, what we built, just go with the storytelling and put like three key numbers in there?
I love this question. I would say that I'm going to tell everybody to like drop questions in the chat and let me come back and email you and start a conversation. Otherwise, we're going to run out of time. But follow that format and think about how you turn that into a story. And what are those three memorable things you can pull out? Okay, amazing. Thank you so much, Adriano. You're a star going first. Love it. Have I got Hamidi in the room? Is Hamidi in the room? Can you raise your hand? Can you come off mute? If not, I'm going to move on really quickly. If Hamidi's not here, have I got Michael Darko? Is Michael in the room? Let me shout out if you are.
I
Please come.
think Hamidi is here.
Yeah,
Is
so sorry,
Hamidi? Hamidi,
I
come
just
on
can't
in.
raise my
Woo!
hand. Sorry.
Awesome. No worries. No worries, pal. Okay, let's go. I'm
Yeah.
going to start the timer. Let's hear your 1 minute pitch. The floor is yours.
Okay. Uh, Today, over 90% of human communication is non-verbal, which means if you take all the AI solution of the market, they can only get 10% of the context, of your context. For that, we decided to create Mimic Sense. Mimic Sense is the only way to get all the information about your customer, to get we truly understand the person behind the screen by by creating a model from sorry, I'm really sorry. In practical term, we decided to create two solutions. The first one is for businesses to help them to create their own AI solution, and for the customer to be able to create their solution and to use it inside in the Bio SQL Orbit.
Hamidi, that's it. We're
Yeah.
at 1 minute. Doesn't it go fast? Okay, you did really well. I know you had a bit of a cough there in a moment. Don't worry. But
Yeah.
what I want to say to you is there's a few things there with your pitch. I could see again, you're taking notes. So again, rehearse,
Yeah.
rehearse. I'm going to keep punching that back to all of you. But what's really important now, when you're coming in and you started with a storytelling, like talking about the problem, you really started with that. This is the crisis we're facing. But
Yeah.
this crisis that we're facing, this problem, how do you make that relate to the investors in the room? So how can you make them understand about let's think about the total addressable market that you're talking about. So if you're saying that 90% of how many? 90% of who? Like who is this targeting? Who feels this pain? Make that really clear so they can start to get excited about, your niche, the audience you're connecting to. That will really help. The next part, when you went into more of your story, you're starting to talk about, and I know from seeing the pitch you did before, you want to be talking about AI, correct? On automation
Correct,
and
yeah.
how yeah. So really you've got something there about human brilliance and how that's amplified. I remember that from your story from the pitch you said before. So I think there's a real narrative there that you can amplify to talk about how you're enhancing human ability and skill and what that means. And, it's the fact that what makes you different. So the credibility factor here, Hamady, your expertise, your story is something I really want to hear you pull through. Again, just like Adriano, we got to think about how do we do that in that really short space of time. But I know that it's possible for you. So does that help you today to give you some sort of guideposts to focus on?
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay, all right. Have you got a question for me or do you want to ask anything?
Can I share my screen because I'm really interested to have your advice about my presentation
We
slides.
don't have time for that today, Hamady. And
Okay,
also,
okay,
when you step on stage, you're not going to be able to share your screen at this point and go to a
okay,
specific
okay,
slide.
perfect.
You got 1 minute, kid, so you got to really go for it. And it's really make sure that you talk about your name. You've got an unusual name. Unusual names stick, but they're also hard to hear. So really work on, and anyone else here who's got an unusual name, that can be a strength, but only when you really pronounce it and you really make sure it's clear. So speak a little slower when you pronounce the name of yourself, the name of your company. It will help them, again, remember you. You want to be remembered, you want to be credible, and you want to tell them some standout stats. And you are going to do fine. I hope that helps, Hamady. Thank you so much for going second. I'm going to move on to the next person on my list. Is Michael Darko now in the room? Has he come? Can you come off mute if you are? Otherwise, I'm going to move on to the next person. Have we got Michael? Not yet. Tom McNally. Tom, are you here? Are you in the room? Oh, these latecomers, guys, you're missing out. Okay, let's Gavin Johnson. Have we got Gavin Johnson in the room? Shout if you're here.
I'm here.
Woohoo! All right, awesome. Gavin, I'm excited for this. Okay, right, I'm going to reset my clock. Let's go from the top. 1 minute. Stage is yours.
Real estate has created more millionaires than any other asset class, but most investors have no access. Your money is no good. Owners are cut off from the biggest source of potential capital, you. iRealize solves this. Built on agentic AI and Web3 technology, our platform enables fractional investment, secondary markets, and seamless finance. We're raising £500,000 to scale our platform, onboard users, and unlock a multi-trillion-dollar market. This isn't just about real estate or finance. iRealize redefines how wealth is built and shared. Join us.
Awesome. Okay, well, you're under time. It was only 42 seconds. I could tell you that you got
speaking a bit quickly.
You got a bit more time in there. You could bang in something else for sure. And one of the things that you did really well there, and I want to just give a shout out, is you made it memorable. You talked about your market. You talked about the size of the opportunity. You helped them understand this is real estate finance and that there's an opportunity that's bigger than that. So you really helped them understand like exactly who you serve, where you are in the market, and what makes you different. So really good repetition of your name. But I think from a practice that you have, I know again, when I looked at your information, you talked about iRealize it's got this opportunity for, it's about capital fundraising for high value, high yield commercial real estate. So potentially thinking about what is that total addressable market? How much of that are you going to be able to capture? You talked a little bit about your growth there. That's really exciting. So anything where you can sort of really build their desire about you seeing this opportunity, and anything that you've done in this point already to show that you've got traction, that people understand that you're needed and it's not available either anywhere else. So you've really identified a gap. And if you could just explain that gap a bit more, Gavin, with that extra 20 seconds you've got, I think that will really help your pitch. Okay.
Should I slow down? Because I realized I was getting a bit overexcited there. I was talking quite quickly. I don't usually talk that fast, I must admit.
That's fine. And actually, I didn't think your pace was overly quick. You can hear how fast I talk. I mean, I think you did fine, Gavin. So your pace was good. Don't worry too much on that. I think you did a sterling job. So really, thanks for coming in today and great work. I can't wait to see your pitch develop.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Thanks so much. Have we got David Pagnotta, Davide Pagnotta in the room? Is Davide with us?
Yes, I am.
Yes, awesome, Davide. Happy to meet you. Right, let me reset my clock. Let's get this going. And you have got the floor. Take it away.
Have you ever worked in a difficult team or for a difficult boss? Complicated team dynamics make work hard. 2 working days of productivity get wasted each week due to poor team dynamics. I'm Davide, CEO of Wise Humanity. We're building Nucleo, the AI-driven team bonding platform that makes teams cohesive, happier, more productive, and improves everyone's mental health. Imagine a platform that in real time can understand your team's dynamics, whether in meetings, Zoom calls, or through simple daily interactions, and proactively guides everyone towards better emotional intelligence and new productive behaviors. And the whole journey is gamified. We've already impacted over 1,000 leaders and 30 organizations like London Business School and global chains like Rosso Pomodoro. With a TAM worth 50 billion and companies currently throwing away over 100 billion a year on ineffective solutions, you have a unique opportunity here. Nucleo delivers 50 to 20 times the ROI of traditional coaching and team building. We're raising 2 million to rapidly reach 50,000 paying users and achieve
That's
product
it.
market fit. I can't hear you.
Well, you could see I was trying to interrupt you. Well done. Thank you for shouting out
Sorry.
my mute. Okay, that was a 1 minute up. Well done. That was a great pitch. So many highlights in there. You talked about your TAM, you talked about the pain, you also addressed the benefits of your solution. That was really good to help people understand why this problem happens, but also how this is going to have a ripple effect bigger than finance. So that's really connecting to your purpose and how you want to change both human behavior, the future of work. It was really clear in your pitch. So I thought that was fantastic. You've certainly got a great proposition, and it sounds as though you've got some amazing client traction already. You name things like London Business School. These are big names that you're coming through. I would talk a little bit more, if you can, around, because you've already got a bit of scale behind you. You've got team, you've got experts. You've also got a really opportunity there about, who's using your prototype, which I think you mentioned. But if there's any results that you can sort of say there, that anything that you can pull more in that will just help them understand that even in the short space of time you've been operating, you've got those big names and you're starting to show that traction. Imagine what you could do with that funding that you're requesting. So I think that was awesome. Do you have any questions for me, Davide, at this point?
Super quick one. So we won't have any screen behind us, any slides, nothing at the
That
demo day.
is a question mark for the Rare Founders team. So Vasily will be able to answer that. I'm not quite sure how they're going to do the
Yeah,
setup, but I would,
I will mention on the day.
yeah.
Like we're gonna be practicing next week, so I'm gonna answer all the questions.
Awesome. Thanks, Vasily. Okay, that's really cool. Thank you, Davide. That was great. I really appreciate you going next. Do we have Omer Ahmed in the crowd? Is Omer, have I pronounced your name correctly? Are you here with us yet? If not, I'm going to skip Nicholas Murphy. Are you in the room? Come off mute if you are. If I haven't,
here.
You're here. Okay, awesome. Hi, Nicholas.
Yeah,
Great to meet you.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to reset the clock. We've got 1 minute. Take it away.
Global trade runs on the US dollar. That means if you don't have any, you don't get to take part. Unfortunately, this is the reality faced by millions of businesses in emerging markets, and it massively restricts the country's development. At the same time, there's a huge opportunity for UK businesses to trade with emerging markets, opening new trade corridors and shared prosperity. But right now, it's too risky, too slow, and too expensive to trade with these markets. At Katana Pay, we are solving these issues, making it safer, easier, and cost-effective to trade with emerging markets through our multi-currency digital wallets, digital escrow, and AI credit solutions. At Katana Pay, our vision is to build a world where financial borders no longer hold businesses back, a world where you can do business in Ghana just as easily as Glasgow, a world where economic prosperity is shared by all. That's it.
Awesome. Well, brilliant on timing, Nicholas. Oh, well done. Really good. You got that well under that minute. I really love that you talking about the big vision. You're talking about your purpose. You're talking about the gap in the market where you can see that you're going to fit. You talked a lot about the different ways in which you approach that. So your different offerings and services. So I thought that was great. I don't know how you're pre-seed at the moment. I know that it's sort of about your ask. I think there would be an opportunity for you to really build that in. So what is your ask? What do you see about that opportunity when you get that investment? So kind of exciting the investors about, okay, he's got a vision. Whether you've got some traction right now or not, then if you haven't, really lean into that credibility. Why you? So it's about the ask and why you. If you can connect those two things, I think weave that into that story, I think you're going to set yourself up for success. Have you got a question or anything you want to check with me just while I've got you?
No, thank you very much. That was very useful. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Really great to meet you. Have I got Sarah O'Reilly in the room? Sarah, are you with us?
Hello. Oh, hi.
Hey, there you are. Hey, Sarah, great to meet you and wonderful to see you today. Let's get the clock reset and take it away. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Sarah Riley. I'm the founder of Beamy. Beamy is a patented reward box for children. Parents can use this as a tool to help inspire. Sorry, I just messed up. Sorry, I'm going to start again just really quickly. I'll do another one.
Keep going.
Sorry. So parents today are overwhelmed, screens, meltdowns, and constant bribery just to get simple things done. And at Beamy, we've turned that daily chaos into a powerful opportunity for growth. We've built a patented interactive reward box that transforms everyday tasks into life lessons. And children earn digital token stars and unlock real, meaningful rewards, boosting confidence, independence, and emotional intelligence from as young as 3. We've been runners-up for 2024 London EdTech Awards, and this year we're nominated for 2 National Startup Awards, Consumer Product of the Year and Retail and E-commerce, and we haven't even launched yet. So this isn't just a box, it's a movement, and Beamy is a place where kids earn life.
Amazing. Even though we had that little blip, you were still under that minute. So well done, Sarah. That's great. You've actually probably got yourself another 20 seconds that you could really utilize there. And what I would say to you is that you did a fantastic job of making your name really clear. You absolutely talked about who your audience is. So well done for that. I love that you talked about your credibility and your awards. There's a little shift that you can do about why you've won those awards. So rather than say we are award winning or we've won these particular awards, perhaps talk about what was the traction. I'm sure there was something. There is something about you've won those awards because. So there's a little bit more of a credibility factor that I think you could weave into that story with that extra 20 seconds. And just as I was talking as well to Nicholas, we're thinking about, what is it that your ask for is today? Where are you going? What is next for you? You're at the seed level. I know that you absolutely have an opportunity to big up those credentials a bit more and talk about where you're headed because you're making your mark in ed tech. Let's talk about how big it's going to go.
Thank you. So I'm not very well. I've been bedbound.
You're doing so well showing up. You look great.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thanks for showing up today, Sarah. Okay, next, do we have Rachel Mason in the room? Rachel, are you with us?
Morning.
Hey, morning. Welcome, lovely. Let me reset the clock. Okay, the floor is yours.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm the founder of Our Remedy, a wellness brand born from personal health experience. I faced some serious health issues, ovarian cancer, full hysterectomy, and early menopause, all by the time I was 30. During recovery, I turned to natural remedies, but I found the wellness space uninspiring. A lack of targeted solutions, clinical branding, confusing doses, and no real information or community for women like me. So I started sharing my story. My blog and TikTok began reaching thousands of women in similar situations. When I realised they weren't just searching support, but also supplements, I launched Our Remedy, a female-focused range in beautiful, sustainable packaging designed to meet women's needs while continuing to build a loyal community. So far, I've bootstrapped to 300k in revenue, built 25,000 plus social following, gained 400 plus subscribers, and secured a listing in Boots, all while working full-time being a mum. With investment, I'll scale through increased marketing, custom formulations, and overlooked women's health needs, and the launch of Raise, the UK's first peer-to-peer support platform for women's health. This will support the growth of Our Remedy by becoming a trusted, community-led way to build a loyal community and deepen customer connection while providing.
Well done, Rachel. You're up. That's your minute. You did really well. And I'm going to say to you that some of the things that I think you did brilliantly there, where you come in and you tell your story. And one of the things that made you very memorable from the first video that I saw was that, you have a powerful story. I could see you were speaking very quickly there. And actually for you, the one thing I'm going to do is slow down a bit and cram less in and actually pull out the highlights that are really powerful because you have a powerful story. You talk there about why you're doing this. So you've got real purpose behind this. You've talked about great, credible results in terms of growth of audience. And you talked about your vision about where you're going. So I think you're highlighting the right things, but perhaps just focus in on some of the smaller pieces and make them bite size rather than trying to put every single piece in. Take the biggest numbers, pull those out, talk about that pain, allow people, your personality and charisma comes through brilliantly when you slow down a little bit. So allow them to fall in love with you. They will easily, and then show them how big you can take this with their investment. That ask you did was great. And you showed where you're going to take this. So I think you've got all the ingredients there. Slow down a bit, takes the 3 key things you want them to remember and get them excited about the journey. Does that make sense, Rachel?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you for the feedback.
Okay, amazing. Thanks for going next. Do we have Ludovica in the room? Ludovica, are you with us?
I'm here.
Hey, perfect. Okay, let me reset the clock and go for it. Floor is yours.
Imagine waking up every day and being worried about your health. This is a reality for 50% of the workforce, and is the top three concern for the majority of employers. Yet, these diseases like cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, and some type of cancers are preventable through personalized nutrition and diet. Reveal My Food is the first personalized nutrition food ordering system that transforms offices in Vitality apps. We partner with caterings and we distribute the ordering system to map the diet of employees and adjust on a daily basis the option on the menu. This enables us to deliver personalized nutrition at scale and reach a 975 billion market to prevent obesity and cardiovascular diseases. I've died. I need to take a breath. Sorry. With Digital Drive with Diabetes UK and clients, international clients such as Marsh Health Insurance, we're now ready to roll out the first product, and we're looking for investment to speed the process.
Okay, Ludovica, well done. I gave you a little extra time there with that cough, but even on the day, that won't be that extra time. It's going to be brutal to that 1 minute. I can see you dying. Well done for showing up today for you and your business. But yeah, take a breath. And you also, again, and I'd just say to you as well, just slow down a little bit, get that delivery to really land. You made some amazing points. You made it really clear the pain that's out there in the market, the fact that this is really needed. Reveal My Food is a wonderful name. It stands out, and you brought that through clearly. But let's think about when we're addressing the need and the pain in the market, let's not stick too long on that. It's very clear there is an opportunity. You've identified it. Move on. We need to get to your credibility. We need to get to your vision of where this is going and your ask. So give them an even weighting. Don't spend so long on that first part, because that's making you rush through the bits that are going to go, why you? So does that help you, Ludovica, to start with?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Amazing. Well done for showing up. I salute you. Okay, let's move on. Do we have, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, I apologize, Oladmeji Shekoni? I'm really sorry, I've pronounced that terribly.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, you're
No
here.
problem.
Way, great to see you. Okay, wonderful. Let me reset the clock and get you started. Okay, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Yeah, my name is Oladmeji Shekoni, the founder of Flourish Blockchain. Our product is called Post and Pick. Post and Pick is a decentralized delivery network application that enhances riders' productivity and makes it easy for people, for small businesses to connect with their customers. What we want to do is to make sure that the process is seamless and sustainable. The current practice is not sustainable and it's not decentralized, given the fact that the delivery market is predicted to be 48 billion in market share, the food delivery market specifically. And unfortunately, over 600 million deliveries were done last year from the 48 billion market, which equates to about 10.3 billion deliveries. Post and Pick is here to change this. And one of the pain points of riders is that they actually need to pay for insurance and all
That's
that.
it. Your time is up. Well done, Olamide. You did really well. I'm going to cut you off there. I did let you run a little bit over because I was keen to hear where you were going with that. Again, you had great quality in terms of at that beginning part. Post and Pick, very memorable name. I would really encourage you, make that more memorable. Let's bring that name back into your pitch a few times so they really stick in your mind. You have a beautiful, complicated name that even I can't pronounce. So I'd focus on the ease of your amazing company and branding that you have. You talked a lot about, the opportunity in the market, the size of the market. So I really want to encourage you to start talking about how you are capitalizing on that. What are the ways that you've identified the opportunity to be able to move this forward really quickly? So where do you see the growth? Where do you see the vision and your opportunity, and why you? So if you can pull that more into your story, the first half, condense it down again, break that, think about 3 things you got to get across and make sure they're evenly weighted so you can really talk about your credibility and make yourself memorable with Post and Pick and that vision of where you're going. Does that help you for this moment?
Yes, that does. Thank you.
Okay, amazing. That's super great. Let's move on for the next one. Have we got Glenn Cameron in the room? Are you with us, Glenn?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Awesome. Okay, Glenn, I'm going to reset the clock and then the floor is yours. Take it away.
How would you feel if you had to give up all the details of your love life to a large group of unnamed people? Well, 74 million people need to do this around the world every year, and they need to keep doing it for 7 to 10 years when they're on a immigration journey from visa, temporary visa to permanent to citizenship. You need to prove your relationships so that you're able to stay with your family. And it's invasive, but it's also just time consuming. Bonded is a mutual app that finds, matches, organizes, presents verified data for immigration requirements. It's totally passive and private, and we use decentralized AI and decentralized blockchain storage to do so. We're looking for 350K for this relational market of $20 billion. And our MVP is almost ready. We are pre-seed. We just completed the Block Dojo Venture Capital. It's bonded. I'm Glenn from Bonded.
Amazing. Bang on time. That was really great. A masterclass there for keeping it short, keeping it punchy. So your timing and your pace was brilliant, Glenn. You really helped us understand the pain in the market. I loved your question at the beginning, like, did you know? And you made us all lean in going, I think I'm about to talk about dating is where I thought it was going to go. And you absolutely flipped that. So I think it was brilliantly orchestrated to create curiosity, to make people lean in. So fantastically well done. Where I would say is, again, just in terms of that weighting, you talk about the way that you're tackling this, but you talk about your ask. Your ask was very clear as well in terms of what you're wanting. But can you paint a picture a bit more about where you're going, how you see the opportunity and the size of this? I think if you could pull that into your pitch just to help people understand your vision for this, you've absolutely identified a need. You've figured out how you're going to solve it. That's asking questions they want to know more, which is great. But what's that vision to go with that ask? And I think you'll nail that. So really well done, Glenn. Any questions for me at this point?
No, great feedback. Thank you so much.
Okay, awesome. Loved hearing your pitch. Okay, have we got Michele Mariotti in the room? Is Michele with us?
Me. Hello.
Okay, Michele's there. Wonderful. Can I ask everybody else put themselves on mute just so we haven't got any background noise? I don't know if I can do that. I'm going to have to see if I can, but hopefully this won't disrupt us. Okay, let's go, Michele. The floor is yours. Time is on.
In this city, there are such vast numbers of houses and residents that no one could count their number. Marco Polo says these words with my voice in Stanley and Max Johnson's documentary In the Footsteps of Marco Polo. In a standard language, sometimes we lose some nuances, and I know this as they come from the localization marketplace. Polyglot Radio is not a standard. It is a kind of glocalizator leading polyglots towards their future and our future. Someone says it is too much futuristic, it's only for a niche, but that's the mistake. We consider a language a unique and distinctive element for a radio, but try to watch beyond and change the paradigm. Let's try to see the world in this new way, and we will feel more comfortable everywhere. Let's think of it as something without walls. Let's think out of the box. A peaceful worldview, overcoming barriers and diversity.
Oh, well, that was well timed, Michele. Great. You got that in on that minute. I love that you were painting a picture. Polyglot Radio is very clear. You made that name memorable and you pitched that throughout. You talk about language, you talk about let's imagine, let's take down those walls. I think it's really good for us to imagine a beautiful future, but you're talking with financial investors. So they want to imagine that beautiful future, but they want to know how much money it's going to make them. So let's get that back to what they care about. So you've got some amazing stats. I remember through looking at what you've been doing in terms of your growth. I saw you did a great post on LinkedIn the other day. You are showing traction. That is really key and important. You've got to lean in on your numbers and help them understand that there's an appetite for this, there's a need. Use your percentages. Don't go too much on numbers right now. Just show that fast growth. And I think you're going to show that there is a market, there's a need. The vision you have is beautiful. I don't want you to lose that essence, but I want you to help move that to more of the commercial conversation. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Karen.
You're very welcome, Michele. Great to hear from you. Okay, have I got Vladimir Shutchenik? I can't pronounce these names. I'm so sorry. Vladimir, are you in the room?
Hello. Yes, I am. Hi.
Wonderful. Vladimir, let me just reset the clock. Okay, your floor is yours. Go for it.
Give me 1 second. So bear in mind, I'll be dressed up as a cleaner. I'll come in a cleaner uniform. So this is what disruptions looks like. Cleaners are the most overlooked workers in a 66 billion industry. And the UK rental sector alone, 4 million properties need professional clean every year. That's a billion market. But the system is broken. 56% of deposit disputes are caused by cleaning. Agents waste hours arranging cleaners lose up to 30% of income on lead fees and admin. So we built Cleanific, a price comparison marketplace for one-off cleaning jobs with instant quotes and guaranteed quality. We've completed 2,000 jobs bootstrapped by 2 people. This year alone, 5,000 jobs. That's 3x growth whilst the industry crawls at 7%. We've won Scottish Edge. We're raising 1.5 million to scale nationwide. Cleaners win, agencies win, tenants win, and you win by getting in now.
Amazing. Great job, Vladimir. I was really impressed with your pitch. It was very clear. It's about cleaning. I love that there's going to be an outfit. I think you did fantastically well at talking about that growth opportunity. You really moved that into not only addressing your growth, but doing that lovely comparison about how the market is behind and you are at the forefront. So you really spoke the commercial language. I feel like you brought that through really well. You talked about the traction you've had, the growth you've had, and you talked about the vision of where it's going, and you made a clear ask. So to be honest, I thought it was a great pitch. If anything, at the beginning, if you could literally maybe slow down just a little bit at the beginning to set the stage. And I think you had that perfectly timed, but if you just reduce your pace a little bit at the beginning, when you got to the numbers, that had a nice rhythm to it. But at the beginning, just to help them remember that it's Cleanific and exactly the area of the market you've got, I think you'll do really well. Have you got any questions for me at this stage?
No.
Okay,
awesome. That's all I needed. I wanted some feedback. Thank you.
Super. You did great. Okay, thanks so much for taking the seat. Ellen, have we got Ellen Malekazadeh in the room? Is Ellen with us? If Ellen's not here, have we got James?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Woohoo. Okay, Ellen, that's amazing. Let me just reset the clock. Floor is yours. Go for it.
We are living in the creator economy, which is expected to reach $500 billion by 2030, with over 100 million content creators worldwide. Yet, less than 5% of them earn enough to make a living from their work. AbleBees gives creators a way to earn by making content specifically requested by their fans who are willing to pay for it. On AbleBees, we are grouping fans who want the same content around the unified request so that the creator knows how many people want them to make particular content and how much in total those people are willing to pay for that content. With AbleBees, creators make content their fans truly need, the content that would not otherwise exist. I'm Ellen, the founder of AbleBees. We are looking for $600,000 to speed up our creator acquisition process. If you have any questions, I would love to answer. Thank you.
Okay, amazing on timing, in well rehearsed and well pitched. So I think you did a great job there, Ellen. It's very clear that you're for content creators. It's very clear that you're designed to help them. Again, I would say your pace was great. You were clear and memorable with the name of your company and what you're trying to do. You were very clear about your ask as well. The only question that I think it raised that you want to overcome is, again, what's in it for the investors that are looking to invest in you? It's clear what's available when you get the funding, how you'll help your content creators, but how does that pay back to them? So let's talk about what that does in terms of revenue, in terms of growth. It's a bit unclear how you will make your money. So if there's a way that you can talk about the way you make money and therefore the revenue that can go back in to expand, to grow, and then also feed back to them. Does that make sense, Ellen?
So you mean like to show somehow the business model, how it works?
Exactly.
To be honest, like I was planning to show it visually on my slide so that it's kind of like visually understandable. Because the business model is pretty simple. That's why I was just showing it as a visual so that when I speak, it's kind of like clear. That was my plan, basically.
Okay. If it's simple, then it should be explainable in one short sentence. So like just go with it. Like have that clear, this is the articulation. And I think with it behind you as well, it's going to be memorable in their mind if that's there. That makes sense? Cool. Awesome. Yep. Okay. Awesome. Who have we got next? We had James Hill. James, are you in the room?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Awesome. Yeah, I'm just going to reset my clock. The floor is yours. Take it away, James.
I'm James, founder of Chef Foodies, a curated marketplace for passionate food lovers, offering chef-recommended ingredients, gourmet products, kitchen tools. Our platform guarantees quality while a sustainable dropship model to cut the carbon footprint. So we're building a community where food lovers discover the best in gourmet food and kitchen essentials. So that target audience is about, curious food lovers that want to explore more. We also help independents and high quality artisan brands with, a channel, content creation to help them grow. We have had amazing reviews from the press, from Trustpilot. Our platform is a mobile first platform, so it's easy to navigate. It's very intuitive and fast. Shopping process is quick. Checkout, smart bundles, straight to favorites. We already have all the payments that you can use for PayPal and all the things like that. Customer support, we're using AI meets real humans, so quick, friendly, and you can either call us or just send us a message. We've got a new expansion.
James. You're up to your minute. Okay, I'm going to hold you there. So I would say that you did a great job at sort of coming in and very calmly. You had a good level of pace. You were speaking quickly, but not too quickly. So that was great. You're very clear about your audience and, those curious food lovers that stuck in the mind. However, the areas that I think you can improve on and you can build on is talking about that curiosity and looking at that, again, weighting that with numbers. So thinking about the total addressable market, thinking about the commercial side. It may have been later in your pitch that I cut you off before you got there. But if we can start to talk about how big do you see this opportunity? And if you have, you're at the seed stage, so if you have any traction, you've got brand partnerships. I know that from when I looked at your video before, there's KitchenAid, there's Lily Cafe. These are big names. So bring them up front, get them hooked in. Like, wow, you're already working with some big guys. Rather than talking about so much the detail of your customer and the features of all the detail, the customer services, how it works, they'll get to that later. They want to understand the size of the opportunity, big names that you're working with, and the size and scale that this can move at. And I think if you just shift your positioning to that, it's going to really help you to win that attraction and desire investment. Okay. Does that make sense, James?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, thanks so much for taking a seat. Let's see if we've got Nancy in the room. Nancy Ole, are you with us? If not, let's move on to Agostino Russo.
Hi.
Oh, Nancy, you're here. Come on in, Nancy. Great. I'm glad to got you. Okay, let me just stop the clock and reset. Take it away. Floor's yours.
Hi, I'm Nancy, mom and founder of Locoso Foods. I'm on a mission to bring nutritious, preservative-free African and Caribbean meals to babies and toddlers. Locoso Foods is the first and only registered dietitian-approved African and Caribbean meal company for toddlers in the market. And our meals don't just nourish, they support cultural inclusivities and help nurseries meet the Understanding the World criteria, a key component in an outstanding Ofsted rating. That's why B2B is our priority, because Locoso Foods makes nurseries look good. We've already signed up 13 nurseries to our May 25th Africa Day program, and we're planning to have 100 nurseries by May 25th. We're planning on scaling monthly catering to 50 nurseries in H1 and over 200 in H2. We're also delivering an Africa-themed week with HCL in the fall. It's one of the UK's largest caterers for primary schools in the UK. Locoso Foods is raising £750,000 to feed the future with bold, beautiful flavors and help nurseries and schools lead with inclusion, culture, and impact.
Amazing. Well done. You did great on timing there. That was a masterclass at keeping it into the minute. You absolutely dropped in so many great credentials there. You talked about your passion, your purpose, but also like how you're actually gaining traction and looking at those partners that you're going to be doing that with and the nurseries that you're going to be expanding. So I think you brought in a lot of information. You also were very clear on your ask, on the value of money that you're looking for and how that's going to be connected to your vision of that expansion. So Nancy, you did some great work there. I think there's a little bit more that you could do in terms of just helping them understand from a point of view of like how big a size and opportunity this is. When we talked about 13 nurseries, a number sounded a little small, but it's if you can show that actually this has got, when you get that investment, the scale that that's going to take you to, it's really going to sort of shift that. So maybe shift that number 13 to maybe a percentages. So you started with X, you moved to Y. You can see this moving even further with investment. So somehow not to sort of put any seeds of doubt in their mind, but get them really excited about how you're moving forward.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I think there's also I just wanted to comment that your credentials are very strong and you articulated those well. So I think talk about, just that expansion, as big as you can with that expansion. And that's really going to help you move forward.
Will do.
All right, Nancy. Amazing. You're very welcome. Have we got Agostino Russo in the room? Are you with us, Agostino? Not sure. Yes, is that you?
Yes.
Okay, amazing.
Yes, that's me.
Okay, wonderful. Let me reset the clock. Okay, the floor is yours. Go for it.
So imagine if code worked like Lego bricks, snap it together, share it, remix it. Most companies today struggle with incompatible and inconsistent stacks, which isolate teams. MicroQuant is a microservice platform that uses AI to automatically turn code into Lego bricks, which are modular, reusable, and interoperable. MicroQuant makes building data-driven apps as intuitive as assembling a model kit, and you create apps which are endlessly extensible. And this doesn't just boost speed and collaboration. It's about the consistency, transparency, and confidence in AI-generated code. And that's essential when you're managing a large, ever-evolving portfolio of apps, as I used to do. We are not just connecting code, we are connecting people. And that's across teams, across companies, across industry. It's a $100 billion tab. We are a Google Cloud partner. We are piloting with prospects and partners. And we are asking for 1 million to basically bring us through the market.
Okay, well, under a minute. Well done. You kept your pitch nice and short, nice and tight and nice and short. MicroQuant came through clearly. You absolutely made it simple to understand. You broke it down with a lovely analogy there of the sort of building bricks, which I really liked. I remember when I saw your first pitch, when you looked at your video, you talked about it as Lego bricks. And I think just talking about it, building bricks, Lego just stuck in my brain. So where you've got something super simple, everyone can understand, you're making it child's play with something so complicated. I think there's more memorability there. So I'd really encourage you to go back to that. I also love that you talked about your credibility, like your expertise. You made it simple but easy to understand. Your confidence shined through that you're able to do this. You were clear on your ask at the end in terms of the amount of money. But that last part of your pitch felt like the slight weak link where you just didn't talk then about, okay, you're wanting $1 million. What are we going to do with that? So what kind of level of, what kind of level of growth would you be thinking you're going to see with that? How would you invest that money to get that return? If you can just tighten that up with a bit more of a commercial conversation for those investors, I think that will really support your pitch. Does that make sense, Ago? Is there any questions
absolutely.
You have?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Well done. Thanks for taking the floor. Do I have Abdul Ahad Khan in the room? Do we have you, Abdul? Not yet. Okay, let me go back through my list and see who we missed. Have we got Adriano Gonclaves? Have you joined us, Adriano? Michael Darko. Michael, are you with us? Not yet. Tom McNally. Have you got Tom McNally? Omer Ahmed. Are you with us, Omer? Okay, that was the last on my list. Is there anybody here that wants to take the floor, would like to rerun their pitch? Anybody I've missed that said they should be speaking, come up and take the floor.
I'm sorry, and how can we understand if we should be speaking or not?
Well, if you haven't spoken, you think you should be, then now's your time. You can take over, Igor. Let's go for it.
Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah.
Let me reset my clock. Okay, I love that you're taking the floor. Okay, Floor is yours. Take it.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Igor from Authentic AI. We help people with communicational problems succeed at work in everyday life. Imagine there is $1 trillion that's been lost by US companies due to miscommunication based on this study. For example, my friend who is autistic, he had to quit his job because his colleagues didn't understand why he asked too many questions. He was simply autistic. And I'm neurodivergent myself. That's why I decided to build an app that is a mediator between neurotypical people and neurodivergent folks. We grabbed 47,000 users in our free B2C apps. Now we're entering B2B market with our bunch of tools for Slack, Jira, and for the personal communication. Imagine it's like a Grammarly, but that knows to whom you're writing. Not your personal style, but the one that receives the message. Seeking for 300K. We'll be glad to talk to you.
Okay, Igor, well done. You were under the minute there. You had 50 seconds. I think you've got another 10 seconds you can add to that pitch.
Oh, I thought that you already stopping me. Sorry.
No, I wasn't. You were doing really well. I think you've got a bit more time to sort of strengthen up again that end part of your pitch. You were clear on who you are, why you're doing what you're doing, in terms of like, this was a personal pain that you felt. This is something that you have suffered with, a friend had suffered with, but you could really unpack that a little bit further to say, you are the perfect person placed for this, for that credibility. Is there more credibility you can add there? Because you want to be memorable. You want to be, okay, I know who you are, but what again was the name of your company? That didn't quite stick in my mind. So let's really make sure that you're repeating that. Make your company memorable. You're very clear it's that neurodivergent, but there's a bigger opportunity. How big is that opportunity? How much is this pain felt? And let's try and make sure that we're talking about the total addressable market. You've seen traction. You've moved that forward with your there's a very different space when you're B2C versus B2B. So the early traction you've had, I think there's a question mark of why not continue with B2C? Why are you wanting to move to B2B? What is the opportunity there that you've sort of seen this shift and now you're looking for that investment? There's a real thing with all of the pitches I've heard today is not like it would be great to talk to you, it'd be nice to talk to you. Know that what you have to say is valuable. You are presenting an opportunity to them. Make them understand that I want to have a conversation with you because here is your opportunity. I'm asking for this. Thank you so much for listening. You don't need to, I hope you'll come and talk to me. Don't be apologetic. You guys are rock stars. You've come up with something really innovative and amazing. Let's get them excited about the opportunity to talk to you rather than I hope. So just move that language at the end to say, here's the opportunity. Let's talk about how we can take this further. And if you can talk about what does that vision look like? Where are you going with this? What's the size of the opportunity? And let's get into a conversation with you to secure that funding.
Great feedback. Thank you very much.
Okay, super. Thank you so much. Okay, is there anybody else that was on the list, felt they should be speaking today that I haven't called up to the stage? Please come up now, come off mute and tell us your pitch. No, just Vasily coming off mute, but he's not talking. So is there anyone else? Hamady, welcome back. Have you got a question you would like to ask?
I'm very interesting to do again, if I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go. If there's no one waiting, the floor is yours. I'll start the clock.
My name is Hamady. I'm artificial intelligence engineer and a robotic engineer, and this is my second successful business. Today I will talk about Mimic Sense. Mimic Sense is a virtual brain to help and to rep some private and personalized artificial intelligence can be able to use to improve other results from this field and also to be able to provide an excellent field. Today, we have 13 customers today. We use our platform to improve their daily activities. And now we need your help to improve our innovation power to be able to secure our market and to be able to through growing this market. Sorry.
Okay, Hamady, well done. I think already I'm seeing much improvement in your pitch. So really well done on taking this moment to take the floor again. What I would say is that you came in a lot more confident at the beginning there. You are much more clear, much more slow with your pronunciation and how you're really like taking people on a journey to understand who you are. I think where you started at the end was you needed a bit more time. I've just realized my internet's gone a bit unstable. Can you give me a thumbs up? You can still hear me. We're okay. So think about just slowing yourself down a little bit. You talked about your credibility a bit more at the beginning. So think about those 3 things that you want to get across. You want to get across who you are, what you do, and your credibility, which this time shone through a lot more. But then, so that clarity of who you are was much stronger. But the problem that you solve and the solution that you offer, it's still feeling a little bit unclear to me. I wasn't completely understanding what that was. So if you can really state your value in one sentence, not only this is why I'm credible, this is my second business, that's great, then help them believe in you. So they want to back you as well as your ideas. So if you've got more experience that you can talk about, you've talked about a past success there, let them really lean into that. Like, how can you talk about that credential a bit stronger? So what have you secured now? When you talked about your numbers, I couldn't tell if it was 3 or 13. You stumbled a bit on the numbers. So real clarity on those numbers, and where you can talk about them bigger, the better. So if 3 or 13 doesn't sound like a big number. So can we talk about what that replicates, how that grows quickly, and with their investment, more importantly, the scale at speed you can actually go. So talk about your vision, where this is going, the amount you're asking for, be really clear on your ask, because that's going to take them where you want to go and obviously pay them back as well. Does that make sense, Hamidi? Yeah?
Yeah, very much.
Okay, super. We've got a couple minutes left. If anybody would like to repeat their pitch that's already been, you are more than welcome. You are in this session. Or if anybody has a question, would like to pick my brains, by all means, come off mute and ask me a question. We've got 2 minutes left. If you don't speak up, I'm then going to pick on people. So, Sarah, you've come off mute. Do you have a question?
Sorry, I'm just trying to get my video. So, what do you think is really, like, obviously looking at last year, what do you think was the key factors for the investors when they kind of decided to invest? What was the feedback on the pitches, and what was the hook that they kind of caught?
Oh, that's a lovely question. I think that's a question for Vasily. I know he's on the line, but it might be a better question to go into the bigger community so everyone really gets an answer to that. But what I would say is, rather than comparing, like, what is it that made the investors make their decision last year? There is such a variety of factors involved in that. I would really focus in on more the strength of your particular proposition. So with all of you here today, some of you are a bit further along. Some of you have got more market traction. Some of you have got a bigger founder story in terms of the pain you personally went through and went, that's enough, I am going to sort this out. So there's whether you're going to make people fall in love with you, your story, your resilience, your ability to decide not only you're going to do this, but start getting your belief kind of made rock solid by the traction you're gaining, the feedback you're getting, that more importantly, instead of people just saying we like you and we follow you, people are investing and they're spending their money. That's really important to show that you have got already, that kind of traction in the market. If you're earlier than that and you're still developing your minimal viable product and you're really at that stage where you need some investment to get this off the ground, it's about you really showing that you've done your research and you know exactly where there's the gap in the market that you've seen and that you are perfectly placed to access that. And with their investment, you guys can change the world. So really focus in on the part of your story that is going to help them feel like this is a hell yes. If there's anyone I want to spend my money on, it's you, because of who you are, your credibility, the opportunity that you can see, and that you've got clarity on that market. and that you're being memorable. They're going to see so many pictures. This has been 1 hour and it's been so fast. What's going to make you memorable and stand out? And Sarah, you've got a fantastic personality. It comes through. You've got a wonderful, memorable name. Lean into that and focus on you. That would be my advice. Guys, that's a wrap for time. Vasily, do you want to say anything quickly as we wrap?
I was just going to say, if you wanted one more, I would have gone again. But
I'm sorry, James. We've just run out of time. But by all means, drop me an email, drop me a message on LinkedIn. I'd love to hear from you. Vasily, do you want to add anything before we wrap today?
I don't know, have some technical issues, but if you can hear me, yes. So a lot of the questions that people asked, I will be addressing this at our practice next week. So for everyone who will be joining, or you will be able to ask me pretty much everything. Another thing is we created a manual, which I shared in our WhatsApp group for all the founders, that has answers to pretty much majority of the questions that have been asked today. So please do look at this manual. Obviously, if something is not there, let me know, and I will be able to do my best to answer the questions. But Caroline, thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Lovely meeting you all. Do come to the other practice sessions. Recordings will be shared too. All right. Bye. Have an amazing weekend, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.